How about this news? If you hadn't heard yet, Trump and Musk have basically had a high school breakup, and it's pretty significant. It was even enough to impact the market today. I'm not going to get too much into some of the words they had to say about each other, but Musk was talking about the Epstein files with Trump, uh, and without me, Trump would have lost the election, um, and more. So clearly, whatever happened, they're not very happy with each other. And Tesla stock is down 14, 15% today. And well, Tesla is a very large company. It's a very material. It matters to the overall stock market, and that probably led to the market being down in general today. And that's kind of what I wanted to focus on, is more of the chart and what the chart was showing us about today. Some of the more of the negative, more impactful news started coming out around noon. I think that's when the market started to catch on to the kind of the tweet storm between the two parties. And with Tesla being such a large company now, a 15% drop in Tesla will have an impact on the indexes. So look at today. I was talking with Papa Taco in the Discord, and we were discussing was this a drop here due to news, or was it purely technical? Well, to me, it was a bit of both. That's really what I want to talk about in this video, what was going on. So I have my blue line across here. This is the 6,000 big round number in the E-mini. You can see the market tried to get above that price today. Right? We can see about 10 bars that were above that price. We made an attempt to go higher here, pulled back, made a second attempt to go higher, and then failed and pulled back below the 6,000. It retested it here and created a small double top, which, by the way, I want to go ahead and mark as that's a good short here. Double top, below the moving average, below a failed breakout of a really important support and resistance. So this, I mean, is this news or is this technical? Well, if there was no news, this is what I would expect to be occurring. After a failed breakout above the 6,000, and then this double top, this piece of price action here, and then a pretty sharp move down to at least test the lows of the day and the overnight lows. So on a technical basis, yes, I mean, this just looks normal to me. Now, did the news prohibit the market from breaking out above this 6,000 number? Right, so that is where the news piece could be coming in. Perhaps if there was no Musk-Trump news today, the market might have had more of a bullish day and maybe closed 20 points higher instead of being down for the day. And the news was coming out around here. So the way it looks to me, the market was wanting to break out. I'm going to pull up the daily chart again. To me, it looks like the market is wanting to break out above this previous high, above the 6,000. And that's what I was really expecting today. I kind of went with that premise that that's what was going to happen. And most likely, it looks like the market was starting to get that bad news around this time, and it failed to break out above that 6,000 number, and it pulled back, and it retested that level, and then it continued down. So it looks to me like the news prevented that breakout, and then when the bears see the bulls not be able to make money anymore, they're going to hop in and try to sell. And then there's also just the negative news with Tesla, and so that's also dragging the market down. So a lot of the times I would say either like, yes, this one event, or the market doing this because of news, or because it was purely technical. But in this case, really, I feel like it was two things working together, right? There was this technical piece of this failed breakout of the 6,000, and the news may have caused that breakout, or it accelerated the move down, or it did both. And to me, it probably did both. So it was kind of an interesting piece of the puzzle in the market today. Big picture, I think whatever pullback we're going to have is going to be fairly minor, and I'm going to continue with my premise that we're headed up to 6,000. Even maybe if it's not in a straight line, I think we're probably going up to 6,000, and we'll probably want to test the all-time highs before going too low. So I would be more bullish in this situation than bearish. Same thing with Tesla. It's all a really large down day today, and they might be in kind of this awkward territory where it's like, are they friends with the Republicans or friends with the Democrats? We don't know how it's going to shake out. Tesla is a very innovative company. They're going to be fine long term. This is all going to work out. I'm not saying I'm buying tomorrow, but I mean, I think 5 years, 10 years from now, they're going to be worth more than they are today. That being said, there were some issues that might be caused. There might be some issues with SpaceX and NASA. Trump was threatening to cancel some government contracts with some Musk businesses, like for example the one that they have with NASA. So a SpaceX Dragon capsule was what brought the 2 NASA astronauts back to Earth after they were stranded. And Musk, retaliating to Trump canceling certain contracts, Musk said he would begin decommissioning that Dragon spacecraft immediately. So this will all need to work out. We'll need to see what the news is tomorrow, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. So at a minimum, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. So just taking one last look at the daily chart. This is our Thursday that happened today. We see this failed breakout above this previous high and above the 6,000 number. That could mean a move of several weeks with lower prices. However, I imagine this being bought either tomorrow or next week. I mean, we might come down and test the moving average. I would expect, I assign a higher probability of the market finding a bottom somewhere here and heading higher than for the market to break below here and go lower. So I would remain more bullish than bearish unless the market did something like this, where let's say it gets below the moving average here, maybe below the 200 as well, and then it creates some kind of double top around that level and then starts to head lower. So somewhere around here after this double top, then I would change my premise. But until it does something like this, then I would lean more towards bullish. So I just kind of wanted to point out what my thoughts there and clarify how I would go about thinking how to plan trades and where to place your own bias. We've been in a very news-driven market since November, right? The election, and then immediately came in with tariff news. Tariff news has ruled the day on the markets, and it looks like for at least briefly we're going to have this other piece of news also that kind of rules the markets. What is the relationship like with Trump and Musk? I'm sure if tomorrow they come back and they said we've talked and we're good now and we're going to get all the contracts going again, well then, right, I would shoot the market up. Or if Musk just continues, or whichever side continues to escalate that, then we would probably continue to see some bearish pressure. So my last point I'm bringing up is that just remember that we are in a news-driven market. It has been less news-driven as the tariffs have cooled off, but probably especially tomorrow we're going to be in some sort of volatile news-driven market. So that might be a little bit different from what we've had the last few weeks. It might look something more like somewhere down here, where the news was very honed in on the market was very honed in on what the news was with tariffs, and probably tomorrow and a little bit next week it'll be very honed in on what the news is with Trump and Musk. So I just wanted to talk about this tonight, and so be on the watch for your trading tomorrow. And I'll be doing the same, and I'll see you guys in the next video.